All right, let's bring on Christian Toto, my friend, who from his blog is called Hollywood in Toto, and I so recommend it. If you're interested in movies, if you're interested in Hollywood, you're reading all this stuff that is almost all of it coming from the left. And unfortunately, this is something I complain about all the time. I complain to my friends at the magazines and my friends at the think tanks that when they cover culture, they send out somebody who writes about politics. They send somebody to a movie who writes about crime or writes about legislation, who doesn't have the deep knowledge of movies or Hollywood or publishing, or whatever they're writing about, to write the kind of stuff we need. Christian Toto has that knowledge. Hollywood in Toto is a terrific site. It's really well written. It's really exciting, and it's from the right point of view. Christian, there you are. I can see you. How you doing?
Hey there.
It's good.
Happy holidays.
Thank you. And Merry Christmas, as we say now.
How dare you?
That's right. Excellent pair of headsets. Excellent headsets, by the way. Anyway.
I wanted the biggest possible because I like to call them cans.
First of all, let's talk. We got to talk about the sex scandal because it's just getting bigger and bigger. There was a piece. Did you see this piece in the New York Times about Salma Hayek and Harvey Weinstein?
You know, I thought I heard everything I could about this scandal.
Yeah.
I thought I was as outraged as possible and as just chilled to the bone. And then I read that. And it all came back again, and even worse. And I think what's so amazing about that particular story, about this particular actress, is how it actually interrupted her art. In addition to all the horrible things that he did to her, that he tried to do to her, how he made her feel terrible. At every step of the way, he tried to screw over her artistic dream. And that, in a sense, flies in the face of this whole Harvey Weinstein's a patron of the arts. He's a wonderful entertainer. He wants to bring the independent sensibility to film. No, he's just a monster. And he's a monster through every possible level of Hollywood. And what he did to Salma Hayek and how she persevered is amazing. In fact, I think it'd be a movie itself. I think you could do a movie about this entire situation with heroes and villains and drama and everything there. It is unbelievable and good for Salma Hayek for phrasing it in such a magical, powerful way.
You know,
it's a compelling read.
It really is a good read. And Salma Hayek, I mean, she's a really talented actress and obviously an incredibly beautiful woman. She's also she was talking mostly about this picture of Frida, which is about this socialist artist, and she's praised Che Guevara. I mean, it's very hard, but you cannot help feeling sympathy for her. Frida is actually a good movie. It really is. And there's one scene in this article where Harvey Weinstein basically says, I'll cut off this movie unless you do a nude lesbian sex scene in the movie. I mean, it made my throat close. That's what women or any artist is dealing with in Hollywood is pretty shocking. Now, you wrote a piece recently, and you decorated. I happened to notice it because you decorated it with one of my videos, which I appreciated. But you wrote a piece about Lena Dunham in these sex scandals. I'm going to let you tell it. I mean, how she has basically debased herself during these scandals.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of things to say about Lena Dunham, and almost none of them are good. But this particular story was revealed by the New York Times when they were investigating how Weinstein was able to get away with everything he got away with. And it mentions how Lena Dunham reached out to the Hillary campaign in 2016, not once, but twice, and said, hey, guys and gals, you've got to get away from this guy. He's a rapist. He's a horrible human being. And if the campaign is connected to him and he falls or it's revealed, then it's going to really stain the effort to make Hillary the first female president. She did it twice. She knew, like many, many people in Hollywood. And guess who she didn't tell? Anybody else. She told no one. She left Harvey Weinstein to do all the things that he was doing and didn't blow the whistle. Now, it's a little complicated because women like Salma Hayek, who were directly influenced by Weinstein, who were assaulted, who were attacked, who were seduced in the grossest way possible, or it's a bad way of saying it, but I understand when they're quiet. Because they've been psychologically wounded, they've been attacked, they worry about their careers. You know, Lena Dunham wasn't that person. She wasn't attacked. She just knew. So she could have rallied people on her side. She could have called the press and said, hey, I've got the dirt on this guy. Can you start investigating this so he will never hurt another young starlet who comes to Hollywood with dreams of being a superstar? She didn't do it. All she cared about was Hillary Clinton.
She really has seemed to be circling the drain, Lena Dunham. And I sometimes wonder if she got sucked in. You know, they kept calling her a star while no one was watching her show. And I wonder if when the show went off and she suddenly was back in reality where nobody cared who she was and she had no influence, I wonder if it's kind of making her a little crazy. Now, is this a sea change? Is this going to change anything out here? I mean, I know I laugh because my agents and other agents that I know are scrambling around. Their reaction to the sex scandal is to scoop up the talent that is now free because agents are getting fired for pinching butts, you know. But do you think things will change in Hollywood? It's been like this forever.
Well, you know, I think it's going to be unclear. There's two factors going on. One, you do have to get more women behind the scenes in powerful positions because that will make this happen less and less. Okay. Now, I don't want quotas. I don't want to say, hey, we have 50% of people who are women and men. I think that's the wrong approach. But there has to be a genuine ability to say, we need to hire the best person, whether it's a male or a female, whether he or she is untested or has a long resume. You have to get those new voices in there. But more specifically, it's the culture. Now, look at Salma Hayek. Here's this beautiful, talented actress who had a long resume when she made that movie Frida. She didn't feel that she had any warriors on her side who would stand up for her, who would defend her, who would fight for her. Nobody. That's why she suffered in silence. And until she gets those warriors, I don't know how much changes in the industry. I do think that people will be more and more leery of doing the bad behavior because they know they may get caught, where someone will spread the word about it. But overall, until these different things happen, I don't see significant change. It could be a blip, and I hope that this causes that change. But a lot more has to happen beyond the fact that names are being named.
Yes, it is interesting. And as these people go out and new people come in, I think the memory of all this will disappear. It does. I think it does speak to the bubble effect of just being around people who agree with you. Lena Dunham could keep silent because Hillary Clinton was so important, and everybody thought that. Everybody in Hollywood thought that, you know, Hillary Clinton was more important than exposing Harvey Weinstein, and Harvey Weinstein was a big donor. Let's talk about the year in movies. The Golden Globes have come out. My first question is, when you look back, I mean, you see more movies than I do, but when you look back at the year in pictures, do you see any sign whatsoever that Hollywood has taken on board the fact that there are at least 60 million people in the country who disagree with them? Are they servicing Trump voters at all, or is it just resistance?
Well, I think it's too soon to know from a content point of view because it takes so long for these movies to get made, get approved, get shot, get marketed, get released. I think that's going to be kind of a wait and see. I think the real fascinating question, and I want to tune in just to see it because often the Oscar telecast is absolutely boring and dreadful. Will they go the full resistance on Oscar night at a time when their industry has suffered black eye after black eye after black eye, where we all know that they all knew about Weinstein and his compatriots and did nothing? Can they have the hubris to go out there and make stump speeches for the DNC while all of that is still in our memory? That's the million-dollar question. Now, you got Jimmy Kimmel will be the host. He's an ardent leftist. He's going to come on very, very dramatically in recent weeks, you know, holding up a baby or a puppy or something.
Unbelievable,
to You know, if there were true comedians out there, they would mock him into oblivion. No offense to his young child, but bringing a child up and holding him into the camera to make your point, it just seems like the hoariest of cliches.
Yeah.
But that will be the real thing. So now it's still a couple of months away. We still have time for the culture to evolve and change and shape and grow. But will they make this another event where it's all about their political point of views and less about the movies? I hope not. That
will be really interesting. I can't say, I don't want to say who it was because it was a personal conversation, but I had my Christmas party recently, and there was a very successful actor there, and he had been at an award show, and before they went on, he said to me that they told him, no politics, let's not talk politics.
Oh.
So maybe it would be interesting if we see some more of that because people turn it off. So what did you make of the Golden Globe? Well, let me put it to you this way. What did you make of the Golden Globes, and what do you think are the pictures of the year?
Well, years ago, and I don't even mean many years ago, we just kind of shrugged at the Golden Globe nominations. It was a bit of a tainted organization. Some weird films were nominated. I remember, was it The Tourist with Angelina Jolie and Johnny Depp? It was a Johnny Depp, Angelina Jolie movie that no one saw, no one cared, no one liked, but it got some nominations because they wanted to get those stars in the theater that night. So I don't think much about the event, and I think we keep trying to give more importance to certain things that don't deserve it. Much like there's about 16 different awards leading up to the Oscars. They're not all super important, guys and gals. It doesn't matter.
Right.
More specifically, my movie of the year wasn't even nominated by anything. It's
Really?
getting no buzz. It's called Thank You for Your Service. It's a great film about soldiers coming home from Iraq and all the things that they're going through. Miles Teller is the star. He is sensational. The movie is sensational. And it's from the writer who gave us American Sniper. He wrote and directed the film, and it is mesmerizing. And it's also rather excoriating when it comes to the VA and the government bureaucracy when it comes to healthcare. So, but it's not very political. It's more about their lives and about their heroism and about what they face here. A beautiful, powerful film. It made no money. It got no significant critical buzz. And it's my best movie of the year.
You know, that's funny because as you mentioned it, I thought, oh, yeah, you know, it's funny now that you've mentioned it. I heard some good things about it. And I realized as you were talking, I read it on your blog on Hollywood and Toto. So that explains it. But that is really interesting. I will watch it. I haven't, and I'm embarrassed. I'm running out of time, but what are you looking forward to in the next year? Anything?
You know, just more great television, frankly. I don't know what to really look forward to in the movies. I think the whole sequel and remake and reboot, that process goes, unchanged. I don't think it's going to really change at all until enough blockbusters are absolute duds. Having said that, the Black Panther film looks engaging. I feel like Marvel superhero films are smart and funny and interesting and perfectly cast, and I don't think that's going to be anything different. The one movie I'm really excited about is 1517 to Paris. It's the Clint Eastwood movie about the three heroes who thwarted that terrorist attack. It's coming out February 9th. The trailer just dropped this week. It looks excellent, and he cast the real heroes in those roles.
Wow.
And that's a really daring move, and I don't know if it's going to pay off, but if anyone can do it, it's the 80-something Clint Eastwood.
All right, Christian Toto. The blog is called Hollywood in Toto, right? Toto. And also you're on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle?
At Hollywood in Toto.
That sounds good. I can remember
Got to
that.
keep the brain consistent.
Well, Christian, it's good to see you. If I don't see you before Christmas, have a Merry Christmas, and I'll talk to you next year.